Good morning. Took us a couple seconds to connect today. How is everyone doing? I hope you had a wonderful week. It's been sort of crazy around here with the weather. Today it's going to be 80. Tomorrow we're getting a new snowstorm. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Sarah, and welcome to my live video chat, Coffee and Crochet with Sarah. Now, we renamed it in case you didn't know. It used to be called just Live with Sarah. And since we always have coffee or something to drink, and we always talk about crochet, we changed the name to Coffee and Crochet with Sarah. Now, we're not going to clink in just yet. I want to wait and let a few more people get in. But just so those of you who watch this over on YouTube know that it is live recorded on Facebook over on the Posh Pooch Designs Facebook page, 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time, just about every Tuesday. There might be a circumstance where I can't, but I do try to have a live video every Tuesday. So welcome. I'm so glad you're all here. I see a bunch of you already clicking in. Whoops. Let's see. Caitlin, Michelle, Vicky, Karen, Dana, Dawn, Bo, Jana or Gina. My sister's name is Gina and she spells it Gina. But I also have a friend whose name is Gina and she spells it like Jeanna like you do. So it could be Gina or Jana. Jennifer, Lisa, Vicky, Grace, Connie, Karst, Tina, Tracy, Kathy, Teresa, and Stacy. I'm so glad that you're all here. Let's go ahead and clink in because I got a really busy morning for you in this short time. Lots of fun things to talk about. So I've got my Chihuahua cup, and up here it says Best Dog. This is one of those cups I found at PetSmart. I've had it a couple of years, and I was just going through some of my cups, and it's kind of in between. It's not Easter yet, so I didn't want to use an Easter cup. And it's not spring yet, although it is spring. It's not spring for us. And like I was saying at the beginning of the video, it's going to be 80 degrees today. And then we're going to get snow again tomorrow. So crazy Colorado weather. So let's go ahead and clink in. Clinkety clink. And that just means we're all saying hello to each other. We're a bunch of fun crochet friends getting together, having our coffee or whatever we're drinking today. Now we're going to be doing a fun little Lambie applique. They're super cute. They're about 3 inches across. And of course it depends on how tightly you stitch. This one is like your basic black and white, and then I made this one in blue, and then I made another one in pink. And so I'm going to show you how to make those today. It's real quick. It's 4 rows basically, or 4 rounds. And we're going to do that in just a second. We're also going to talk about our finishing up of the spring crochet along. It's done, but don't panic. It's always going to be there. Let's see. I've got some new yarn. And we have to, this week, I'm going to remind you about the book giveaway. And then next week's video, because I gave you 2 weeks to enter, we'll announce the winner, okay? All right. Now, let's see. Also, we're also going to talk about that cow. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do first, I'm going to make sure I said hello to everybody. I see Leah and Carol and Amanda, Stacy, Dawn, Tracy, Jennifer, Kristen, and Martha. Let me bring this back up, see if I missed anyone. Alicia. All right. Well, I want to make sure I say hello to everybody because just a reminder, I can't do what I do without you. You all follow my page. You follow me on YouTube. You follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want those links, if you're on the Facebook page, over on the right where it says About, you can just click that and all my links are in there. If you're on YouTube, underneath this video and underneath all my videos, you'll see a thing that says Find Me and My Patterns At, and then all my links of where I'm at are right there, and you can just click on them. So feel free to follow me on Instagram. Feel free feel your feet. Feel free to follow me on YouTube and Facebook and Ravelry.com. I'm also on Etsy. I have, of course, my blog. So anyway, go ahead and feel free to follow me on any of those links. All right. Now, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to make that little Lambie. I wanted to do that first. Then we'll talk about the new videos and patterns and the new yarn. So I'm going to click over to my other cam, scoot over here, and to make a little Lambie, you can use either worsted weight number 4 cotton or acrylic or even a blend. It doesn't really matter. It just depends what you're going to do with it. All right. I like to make these and put them on scarves and handbags, or just put a pin on the back and wear it for spring or Easter. You can put this on a headband as well, or a hat, or a scarf, anything you want to do with it. You can also make a bunch and hang them up for decoration. They're also great just to use as place markers if you're going to have an Easter party or a spring party. You can put one of these on each person's plate, and then and you can make them all different colors, and each person gets a different color of Lambie. All right, so we're going to be stitching with our H hook, 5.0 millimeter. You'll need a needle and you'll need your scissors. And then you'll need 3 different colors of yarn. Like I said, worsted weight or cotton works. You're going to need the white for the outside, and then you can choose whatever colors you want for the inside face and the little embroidery. I'm going to do it in pink just because I've already got one done in pink. So let's move those up there. Put those in my yarn bowl. Move these out of the way. All right, let's get started. We're going to begin with our slip knot. And we'll be starting in the center and working our way out. All right, so I've got my slip knot, and I'm going to chain 3 chains. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so now I'm going to stitch, oops, don't want to put my yarn over. We're going to stitch 6 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2. So we'll put our hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through 2 loops. There's 1, 2, 3. Move the tail over. 4, 5, and 6. Now, if you prefer to do a magic circle or a magic ring on this, you certainly can. I just prefer this method for me. All right, now we're going to go right in that first single crochet, join with the slip stitch, and chain 1. And your chain 1 does not count as a stitch. It just gets us back up where we need to be. All right, now for row 2, we're going to place 2 single crochets in each of those 6 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, here's 10, and 2 in the last is 12. 1 and 2. Now we're going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch, and we're going to cut our yarn. But I don't want you to cut it close. I want you to give yourself about 12 inches, because when we're done putting on the white portion, we're going to come back in and add the ears, and it's just easier if the yarn's still attached. So I'm just going to cut off a long piece like that and just leave it there. All right, let's grab the white, and we'll bring that in. One of the things I like to do when it comes to crochet is if I can leave my yarn attached and not have to weave in an extra part, I like that a lot. I call it working smarter instead of harder. And I know this might be in the way a little bit, but when we come back into embroidery those ears on, we won't have to weave in any ends on those until we're done. All right, let's snug that down. All right, now for row 3, we're going to place 2 single crochets in the first single crochet, and then we're going to single crochet just once. So we're going to do 2 and then 1, working around. So we'll put 2 in the next, and 1 in the next, 2 in the next, and 1 in the next, 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 2 and then 1 in that last stitch. All right, we'll join to that first single crochet and chain 1. Now for row 1 you had 6 single crochets. Row 2 you had 12 single crochets. For row 3 you need to have 18. All right? All right, now we're going to do these little ruffles that kind of give the Lambie its look of curliness. All right? Okay, I don't know why my voice keeps cracking. So what we're going to do is in the first single crochet, we're going to stitch a slip stitch. Now we're going to go to the next single crochet and stitch 2 double crochets. Let me back out a little bit so I can make sure you understand. Yarn over, go in the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the second 2. And then we'll stitch another one right in that same stitch. The next stitch we'll stitch a slip stitch. And so what we're doing is we're doing slip stitch. Next stitch we're stitching 2 double crochets, slip stitch in the next, and 2 double crochets, not slip stitches or singles. I keep saying it wrong. All right, let me make sure I'm being clear because I keep saying slip stitch when I mean single crochet. All right, so the next stitch we stitch 2 double crochets. The next stitch we stitch a slip stitch. The next stitch is 2 double crochets. There we go. And a slip stitch in the next. And see how it makes it look wavy? Well, look at that. I guess I'm going to have to add some yarn on there. I'm just going to do a real quick knot and I will fix that later. All right, now there's a slip stitch, 2 double crochets in the next, 1 and 2. Slip stitch in the next, and 2 double crochets in the next. And we're just going to pretend like we don't see that knot, and I'm going to leave it a little bit loose so I can come back in and do that right later. All right, so there's my second double crochet and a slip stitch in the next. 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and slip stitch in the next. All right, let's get this going. 2 double crochets, slip stitch in the next. And this is just giving our lamb his little curly hair on the sides. And don't tell anyone you saw me make a knot, okay? This is our little secret. I know, it happens to us all. All right, there's my last 2 double crochets, and I'm going to join to my first slip stitch with a slip stitch. All right, so let's go ahead and cut that yarn. I'm going to cut this just because it's annoying me. All right, now weave that into the back. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and take this long tail that we left and make the ears. And the ear placement is kind of up to you. This one I've kind of got them out. And this one they're a little bit higher. And I kind of like them this way. And so what I'm going to do, I've got my pink yarn. I'm going to decide where I want the top of my hat. I'm going to decide where I want the top of my applique to be. And I like to do it where there's 2 double crochets. So I'm going to go right in there, and I'm going to go in the top where those 2 double crochets are and just stitch a straight stitch, and then I'll do it again. Go right in there. All right, so now I want to decide where my second ear is, and I think I'm going to put it right over here. So I'm going to go right up here and do the same thing. So there's my 2 ears. All right, and I can just come back in behind here, and I'm going to catch that where I draped across so it doesn't stick out, and just weave that in. Make sure when you're weaving in that you don't get into any of the white, or you'll have a little extra pink stitch. All right, we do need to weave these ends in, but I want to show you how to do the little face real quick, and I'm going to use black. All right, now, and the face is really simple. You just come up in the center and you make a straight stitch down. Make sure you're between the two ears. There we go. And we just leave a little bit here. Pull that out of the way, so we have something to weave in later. And then we're going to just make a straight stitch across. So it looks like the little nose and the little line of their mouth. And then we'll just, between the two ears, make sure when you're coming up that you go in stitches and not holes, because you might lose your stitch if you come in between those holes, okay? That's one thing I had to learn the hard way when I was first starting. But we're just going to make two little lines. Just like that. Okay, and then of course I've got a lot of weaving in to do back here, and we're just going to hide that behind. All right, and that's how you make a cute little Lambie. It also kind of looks like a lion, doesn't it? I thought it would be really cute to make it in gold and orange and maybe yellow and make it look like a lion. But that's my simple little Lambie applique that I like to use all the time, and it's a super fun one. And like I said, it has lots of places and lots of things that you can do with that. All right, now let's talk about what's new this week at Posh Pooch Designs. And a lot of people ask me why the name of my company is Posh Pooch Designs. And when I first went online, I was only doing dog items, hats, bandanas, collars, dresses, and things like that. And then as I decided, because I've been writing patterns for like 40 years, I decided to go ahead and do a lot of other stuff as well. And this little Lambie can easily be put on a dog bandana, right? And so anyway, I just, instead of coming up with a whole new name, I just kept it because I like it. And I like my dogs. So anyway, I get that question quite often, so I thought I would answer that real quick. All right, so we completed our crochet along, which was Mama Chick. Here's the one that's been well played with by my grandkiddos, and here's the one we did for our crochet along. And you'll notice it does have more colors because I added an extra color in there. I added some purple, and I changed the colors up just a little bit. And it's super easy, super fun. And one thing is, the last video, step number 5, I show you how to make a pillow form for any shape that you may have that you want to make a pillow form for. And I like to do pillow forms for crochet items, because even when you're crocheting tightly for those little tiny things, the stuffing can kind of stick out sometimes. And so I have 2 different ways of doing it. You can make a little tiny one, or you can make a big one. And let me grab this. This is the little chick. And on the little chick, I also show you how to make a tiny little pillow form if you want to make it for inside for your tiny ones. And those are 2 really neat items that we did. And we did them together as our spring crochet along. Here's the basket with all the little chicks in it. All right, and then the mama chicks, and they're super fun. And they're great to use as decoration, but they're also great for the kids to play with. If you're having a bunch of people over and you got some kids coming, you don't want them to be bored. And you don't, even though it's fun to fill them full of candy, you don't always want to do that. And so it's a good idea to have something fun for them to play with, right? All right, now the other pattern that we did is, I always point the wrong direction, is the velvet cable cow. And I love this velvet cable cow because it's kind of a mock cow, because you're really just doing rows of double crochets and chains, and then you loop all those chains together. Now it's not done the same way that Jacob's ladder is done. You don't chain across. You double crochet, you make your 10 chain, you slip stitch in the top of your double crochet, and then you make your last chains at the end. And it's super duper easy. And this velvet yarn is amazing. Now it was made out of the Bernat velvet. And someone said today, I don't have enough velvet patterns out there. Well, one thing to remember is there are lots of different velvet yarns out here. And here's the Deluxe, Velux, I always say Deluxe. And one thing I found is that the thickness on the Bernat velvet, they have it at a 5. Well, the Velux is at a 4. But if you hold those two up together, I thought I had a strand in there. I think I took it out of my yarn bowl. But anyway, they're really, really similar. The Velux is a tiny bit smaller, but I think that you could easily interchange patterns for both. And I also noticed when I was at, I think, Hobby Lobby the other day, they have their own brand of velvet, and Joann's also is coming out with their own velvet and some of the other brands. And this velvet yarn is just gorgeous stuff. I mean, it has beautiful shine to it. This one's called Lilac. Isn't that pretty? And I actually found this one at Walmart, believe it or not. I just happened to be walking by and I saw that she was putting out a, you know, those cardboard containers they put on the ends of their rows, on the end caps. And she was putting out a bunch that had a beautiful gold. Oh, it was just gorgeous. And it has such a beautiful sheen to it. So get you some of that velvet yarn and play with it, because it is a lot of fun. And whatever you make with it, it really does hold its shape. I didn't think the velvet yarn would, but it really does hold its shape. Alrighty. Just looking through here, seeing if anybody has any questions. I don't see any. Okay, now the other thing I wanted to remind you is, remember we have our giveaway for our 2 books from Kim Guzman going on. And you have 1 more week to get involved. And the way to enter, to get entered in to win these 2 books, is to go to last week's video, whether on Facebook or on YouTube, and just comment. And then next Tuesday, we're going to announce the winner of these 2 books. And I have these also, and they're really great. My one like this is all dog-eared and worn out because I have used it a lot. This is my favorite one. And don't forget to go see her videos. They are amazing. All right, now another yarn I wanted to talk to you about was this yarn here. It's from, let's see, this is Loops and Threads, Loops and Boucles. And I bought 2 of each of these colors, so I'm going to make myself some pillows. And I bought this color here. This is called Vanilla Bean. And then I bought this kind of cranberry, and it's called Cranberry. Cranberry. So anyway, I bought 2 of these. I'm going to make myself some pillows for my living room. And it's the same yarn. It's got loops in it. But I'm thinking maybe I won't do the typical loop and maybe crochet so the loops are sticking out, because I like loopy, bumpy stuff. So I'll let you know how that works. I've already got a pillow form made for it. I just made a rectangle. And I'm gonna do those. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, because we did the spring crochet along last week, we don't have a lot of new patterns that we did last week, because we did a little bit of the spring crochet along for the mama chick last week and the babies. Now, if you missed out on that, don't panic. It'll always be there on Ravelry. It'll always be there on YouTube. You can go to the playlist and look up spring crochet along mama chick, and all the videos will be right there for you, with links to the page where all the written out patterns and a bunch of pictures. What I did is I wrote this pattern a few years ago, and so what I did is I used the same blog so that everything is together, and you can click on that blog. All the videos are there, all the written pattern, and lots of pictures to help you out. It's not hard. It's super duper easy, actually. And so I had a lot of fun doing that particular spring crochet along. And I do have some fun things coming. I've got a couple more what you would consider Easter or spring patterns coming. And then I have some more things that are more springy and summery coming. And so I've got a lot of things in the works, and I'll be showing you those things next week at our live video chat. Okay, now the last thing I wanted to talk to you is about something a little bit serious. And I don't know if you all follow Crystal at Bag a Day Crochet. She is an amazing lady. She's an amazingly generous lady. She does a fantastic job on her YouTube channel. And she loves doing giveaways. She's great at doing crochet tutorials. She's got a lot of really fun, unique things. And a lot of things you can use every day. And she's just a really, really nice lady. And I don't get to watch her videos all the time. But I happened to last night be on Instagram. And I kept seeing things that said, I'm with Crystal at Bag a Day Crochet. And I thought, I wonder what that means, you know, and because I saw about probably 20 different Instagram posts. And so I clicked on one that had a whole bunch of comments because I thought maybe if there's a bunch of comments, I can see what's going on and if it's a giveaway or something fun. Well, it wasn't something fun. It was something really sad. And Crystal at Bag a Day Crochet has been being bullied. And it's not right. Everyone has a right to their own belief system. We all believe and do different things. But when it comes to crochet and patterns and yarn, these are our heart. These are the things that make us happy. And in Crystal's video, she says it's her joy. And she was bullied to the point where she was going to quit. And I'm telling you, I was watching her video and I just burst into tears because it broke my heart. I don't understand bullying at all. And I don't understand bullying over crochet or yarn. I just don't. And I'm not going to get into all of it. If you want to know what happened, you can go and watch her video. She did a video. It's like an enormous, huge yarn giveaway. So you want to get in on that anyway, see if you can win it. But she is an amazingly generous person. And I love her style because she includes her husband and her children. And she's just down to earth and real. And I just want to say this one thing. Bullying is wrong. And I don't care where you are on the political beliefs or religious beliefs or whatever your belief system is, bullying is wrong. And bullying on the internet over crochet and yarn is just silly to me. And I will not put up with that. I won't. And I have this thing that it might have been Dr. Seuss who said this. I don't know who said this, but someone sent it to me and it says, "You will never ever regret being kind, but you might regret not being kind." And to me, you never know what someone's going through, so you really, really want to be kind. It's not always easy. And it always seems like those who are the most unkind need kindness the most. And so that's why I kind of wanted to talk about this today. You know, being kind isn't always easy. You know, when you're in the checkout line and the person in front of you has 3 buggies full of something and they won't ring up, you know, it's like, come on, people, you know, and you don't want to be kind. Or you have a large buggy and someone behind you just has a few things, letting them through, things like that. I think that the crochet world is a place where we can all come together, no matter who we are, and unite on something that brings joy. I love yarn. I love crochet, and it is my heart, and it is so much fun. And I love that I get the opportunity to reach out and connect with all of you. I don't care anything about that other stuff. You know what? I love yarn. I love crochet, and I love getting to teach it. Yeah, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. You know that because, I mean, you've watched my videos. But I just want you to know, bullying is never right. It just isn't. It just isn't. And I don't want any of that around. And I really want you to know that. That's all. And I'm going to let you go on that note. Remember to be kind. Remember to be kind. Remember to be kind. Everybody have a great week and make you some of those lammies because they're super fun. Bye-bye now.